Hey there, guys. So this is Darwin with another review. This is Jack's Abbey's Saxonator, Dunkles Dopplebock. Um, yeah, so Jack's Abbey's an awesome brewery. They're doing only lagers, and I think that's really awesome. I really overrate beers that, or not overrate, but just personally enjoy beers that breweries that do really cool things with their beers. And I think just focusing on lagers is a really cool idea. Their hoppy lagers are some of my favorites. They're so freaking delicious. So I've never actually had this brew. So and I've actually had a double box in a little bit. So let's dig into this beer. The beer comes in a nice clear kind of dark, maybe mahogany red, dark ruby kind of color. Really nice color on this beer. So yeah, let's get the aroma on this. Wow. Immediately, I noticed that I have a hard time picking out what kind of style it is. Like if I was blind, I couldn't tell you what style it was. You get definitely a breadiness, a toasty breadiness, but only slightly. In general, it's a very fruity aroma. Definitely a lager. You can definitely tell that. There's a yeasty kind of lager note in there. But in general, you get this kind of like strawberry or plum, rum-soaked raisin kind of thing. It's not a barrel-aged beer, so it doesn't have that like pungency of like sweet dripping rum-soaked raisin, but sort of that kind of note. Fig maybe. Not a quad. Again, not as sweet as big as a quad, but still. Still, you get a sweetness. But yeah, you definitely get a toasted kind of malt in there. So yeah, let's get the flavor on this. Mm-hmm. You definitely taste more Doppelbock on the flavor immediately, and you definitely get the signature Jack's Abbey yeast note. Jack's Abbey's beers, from what I've experienced, have this minerality throughout. It just tastes like a lager. It has that yeast note throughout the beer. Minerality is a great descriptor for it, in my opinion. In the front, you get this slight fruitiness. Again, those plums, white raisin, slightly rum-soaked raisin, figgy kind of note. Mm-hmm. A hint of fruit, and then you rush with, I'd say like a light sweetness for the style, very light sweetness for the style. Sort of a caramel, light brown sugar, very light sweetness. You get a big breadiness in the middle, and then you're just cut again with even a bigger breadiness on the finish. The beer actually drinks very clean and gentle for 9% beer, very like light, and then it hits you with this big breadiness. And there's this bread called I think it's called rugbrod. Is Danish, and I think you actually find it some Germans eat it as well, and also Scandinavians. But it's sort of this rye bread. I don't know if you've ever seen it at the store, but it's almost like a multi-grain meatloaf brick of bread, and that bread has this big. It's not anything like you've had, like a Wonder Bread or a baguette or even a sourdough. It has this density to it, and it's big, and that's what this beer tastes like. It has this big breadiness on the back. It's whole grained. It's rye. It's big. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tinges of sweetness throughout, but light brown sugar, caramel, light a medium caramel kind of flavor throughout. Dries off almost, yeah, a bit spicy almost, that big breadiness. But it's very clean beer in general. Despite that big breadiness in the back, it's quite clean. 9% you do not taste it. It's probably, I would guess it's more towards probably a 7% beer or something. So it's quite dangerous stuff. It's different from other double blocks because I think other double blocks sort of have like this big toasty bread, big nuttiness. This beer actually has some nuttiness too. But they have this aggressive, big kind of sweetness, almost umami flavor. Definitely darker, richer malt in there. In those other double blocks, sort of like Iron Celebrator, which is probably the most famous one. This beer is definitely more clean, light, despite still being at 9%. So it's really dangerous in the fact that it's so drinkable, different for the style, but still is a double bock and still have those familiar notes. I'm going to give this beer a 92 for that. I generally might rate a beer a bit higher because it's different, but I think I generally just prefer the bigger, breadier malts, the darker, toastier malts, but this is still quite delicious, and the fact that it can hide its alcohol so well is absolutely incredible. So, Jack's Abbey, until next time, guys, definitely check them out. This is Saxonator. Later, cheers.